Hello, chat. We're back. This is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturdays. On Saturdays, we do Exit to Eden and What in Space, and also indie game one-shots every other week when we can find GMs. Hello, chat. And I'm not the one echoing. That's not me this time. Haha.
Nope, it is not you. It is not you. That is entirely my fault. I apologize. I forgot that was not muted.
That one was me. Okay.
Yeah, I've muted all of my stuff.
Woohoo! We're doing great tonight!
Normally that would be muted. That was entirely my fault. I do apologize. I had forgotten that I had taken it off mute before.
Vindication! Anyway, as you can tell, we're terribly professional here with our games, and that's why we have a new application form for people who want to play in our games or guest GM on Saturday nights. So join our Discord, and look up that application if you want to game with us. All of the schedules are also on the Discord, but also on the application. So make sure you know when the game is before you apply to play. It's listed twice on the form, so hopefully people see it. So on this channel, what else? Producer talk. We use channel points instead of cash, so you can use channel points to buy buffs and nerfs for the various people on this screen. If it's for the GM, it says GM, and all the other stuff is for the players. Plus ones to our rolls, because unlike Exit to Eden, we use like the actual D10 system here, so it's plus 1 D10 to your roll. Or is it plus? It's plus. Yeah.
It's plus your roll. It's so gratifying, just a fistful of dice and hearing those math rocks click.
Yeah.
There's a reason everyone loves Fireball and D&D, baby.
Yep. Is that D10s or D6s? Yeah, no. Focus.
Sixes, but it's 8 D6s.
Focus. I'm focusing.
It's a lot of dice.
Yes, so much
dice. So yes, you can buy plus ones for the GM or players' rolls, and those go into a pool. You can buy plus 1 willpower for the players, which goes into a pool that we use to refresh our spent willpower.
Which you will not use nearly as often as I thought you might.
I mean, willpower is a bit less useful than I'm used to in White Wolf systems.
That's fair.
So I'm like, okay.
You also roll really well, and my NPCs don't.
Unless that NPC is Ace the Hellhound.
Yeah.
We love Ace, but even Ace when he's off screen.
On a player's character sheet, as far as I am aware, so there's that. Anyway, also turn 1 bestial failure into a messy critical, which, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. You'll also see something for the name of a spaceship. That's for Exit to Eden on Saturdays, but I figure if there are people who can only watch on Tuesdays and they want a name... So basically, we're going to collect a list of names and then have the players vote on what they name their spaceship. Right now, the AI on the spaceship is named Njord, and thanks to an NPC purchase, sounds like Holly from Red Dwarf. Any of them that I feel like doing the voice for. And that is the end of my producer spiel. Please join the Discord, because I suck at all the other social medias and only suck marginally less at Discord. Over to John, who's actually GM.
I am the storyteller this evening. Also, in case you didn't notice, there were 3 player plus ones purchased in the chat. Those are my penance dice for having not muted.
As long as I don't mind people on this screen buying stuff during game with their channel points, because it means your account is watching the stream and beefing up our numbers.
I just wanted to make sure it was clear there for bookkeeping purposes. But yes, hello and welcome back to Eldritch Adversaries. Now entering into the final stretch of theoretically season 1. Who knows where we'll go back to this after a while. Welcome back to the 1920s. The Great War has come and gone, but apparently a new one brews in the shadows as the Bali, now revealed, begin to set into motion plans to set Europe and theoretically the rest of the world in green flame. Somewhere off in the distance, fans of Penny Arcade are screaming, "Green flame!" And yes, when last we left our mighty coterie, who will go through their introductions, they were in the midst of undergoing a radical procedure to help protect them from any or to give them extra resistances against being compelled to do things.
I mean, radical, unorthodox, but I mean, it's fairly a normal vampire thing to do, just not usually done willingly.
Yeah, it's also usually it's considered taboo among the Camarilla. Doesn't mean they don't do it, but openly it's a little taboo, especially when you're not the child thereof or someone who actively wronged said person. So this is justice. Yep. Or you weren't able to manipulate it in such a way that other people couldn't tell. But yes, they are in the midst of their final phases of preparation before they head off to Vienna, Österreich, where Königsmacher awaits, with all sorts of nastiness theoretically in play. Or so the coterie believes. But is this another ploy, another misdirect, that thought lingers in the mind? But before we go see how long I'm going to puppet these poor fools around, let's go through character introductions, including introducing our new player who will be joining us as an actual PC as soon as we can get that working, but there's still some stuff these two need to do before that. So, moving on, Dracus, if you would so kindly, please.
All right. Hi, I'm Dracus. I'll be playing Vern Quincy this evening, the sort of feral Nosferatu kid who has committed a diablerie on this stream. And we're just now kind of dealing with the direct effects of that. It's been fun. I'm totally here to just, make some decisions.
I am here for your decisions. I absolutely am. And introducing, for as far as I'm aware, your first time on Magic Fish Radio, certainly your first time on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce your character as well as yourself this evening, or do you just want to introduce yourself and save your character for when you actually slip into the show?
I'll introduce myself first and save the character for later.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, hello. My name is Justin, he, him, and I have been more of I have played the old World of Darkness for quite some time. I've also played live action and other stuff as well. This is the first time that I'm doing something that I am doing a streaming thing, and I hope not to die on the first night.
I don't intend for you to. That being said, during session 1, we did almost lose Vern because of the one time the villains rolled really well. Literally, the only time the villains rolled really well.
Yeah. Hey, it happens.
There was also risk to somebody else who joined very briefly when I had to make a save against trying to diablerize her. I succeeded on that, but the risk was there.
Also very true. And yes, and for one last time, our wonderful channel producer, the reason we're all actually here this evening, entertaining you all and ourselves.
Last time, because I probably will die today.
No.
In or out of character, we'll see.
No,
not
I just
allowed.
Like to commit myself.
Not allowed. No dying on the stream.
Oh yeah, that breaks terms of service. Also, I'm the only one with the stream key right now because they changed it.
I'll have to break Shay out of the back of my mind to resurrect you if you die.
Long distance resurrection. Well,
it'll be fine.
John's brother-in-law lives across the street from me, so you'd have an actual practitioner who knows what they're doing to come across, and he's got a key to my apartment, so yeah. Okay. We have insurance. Anyway, I'm Chris, the channel producer. I know this. I was just reminded of a Sabbat game that happened at the Winter Garden, I assume, before I showed up on the LARP scene and met Justin, where, yeah, it was bring 4 characters with you to this Sabbat game. You need to bring a minimum 4 characters with you, because you will die at least once. At which point, the real game becomes, how many interesting ways can you die in one game? Or be turned into a living coffee table for eternity. But yes, the wood chipper approach to roleplay. Anyway, in this game, I'm playing Charisse Lowell, also sometimes Riza Lowell, because Malk life. And we'll see how that plays out when she wakes up this morning, next to someone who isn't her husband.
Oh, yes. This'll be fun. The sun sets. The moon rises. The baleful burning gone beyond the horizon, and you all stir from your day sleeps. Charisse begins to rouse until she feels the flesh of another stir against her. And we'll save the graphic explanations for those who might have issues or feel uncomfortable with that, but it is of a strong enough nature that Charisse goes back into Nighty Night and Risa says, "Oh, hello."
Oh, that's always fun. I should do this more often. This poor girl, my poor other half will never remember most of the 1920s. How does my lady friend wake up with me, or does it take her a little bit long? Oh, okay, so.
No, you both wake up at pretty much the same rate, but there's a moment of confusion before click, because one of you knows you went to bed with someone, one of you doesn't, and the one who didn't woke up first. And then they felt the naked flesh and the strong, muscular, feminine arms.
Morning or evening, I don't know. It's been a week, you see.
Yeah, it has. Your German's not going nicely.
Well, I have an excellent teacher. Very hands-on.
If we get the chance, we can review it later. But right now, I have an appointment to keep.
Understood. I'll see you later, sweetie. Fraulein.
She nuzzles into your neck and gives you not a kindred bite, but a playful bite.
Yeah. Are these teeth, not this teeth?
No.
Yeah.
And then once she's mostly presentable, exits out of your room. Vern, you also stir alone, but that's the way you'd prefer it.
Well, alone except for the voices in his head.
Yep.
Presumably, I had that dream again.
You had a variation thereon, but I assume that your stance is going to be much the same at the moment.
Yeah, nothing dramatic has changed yet.
So we'll save how things change there for when things will be a more dramatic change. Unless you absolutely want to just talk to the Bane spirits, because who knows, they might have something interesting to say if you actually just turn around and go, "I've never thought to ask, but how are you?" No one ever thinks to ask the Bane spirits how they're doing, how their day was.
Maybe I have thought about it and just decided I didn't care.
Well, you are awake. The two of you are in the second evening. You will have to go speak to Monsieur Fiantelli in order to progress your attempts at fortifying your minds. And there are other things that you wanted to do. So, who would like to go first? Or would you both just like to get your blood tapping out of the way?
Channel
Probably
points.
a good idea.
Channel points pool. Players, we have 18 plus ones, 5 willpower, and 3 crit conversions. GM, you have 23 plus ones. Okay.
All right. So do you two wish to see Hubert straight off the bat, or do you wish to get your more personal things out of the way?
I'm talking to Hubert first is probably where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'll check
All
in.
right.
Check in first.
So the two of you exit your rooms probably about the same time. If nothing else, Vern is probably already waiting at the elevator by the time Riza saunters her way out. Maybe Vern walked out about the same time a certain muscular German goddess walked out.
Not my
And,
first
you
German.
Yeah, I'll give
or my
give her
first.
a polite good morning, but otherwise just like, you know, mind my own business until Riza shows up, and then I'll be like, Riza, didn't expect to see you this evening.
Then you ain't been paying attention. Well, then I guess we were quieter last night than I realized.
No. I'm just fucking with you.
Hmm.
Except apparently not the same way our dear friend that just passed me was.
I mean, not my first German or my first goddess, but first German goddess, and it was in.
Fair enough.
5 stars.
I don't think I want to know any more than that. Hope you had fun.
Well, I hope you had an education, if only an audible one. These are the things
Yeah, okay.
you can't let come up. I mean, you can partake or not, but this is what's going on when we ain't at court or being hunted by demons.
I almost prefer being hunted by demons.
The only thing put you on your back is a magic bullet.
Yeah. Thanks for that reminder. Not a sore spot or anything.
Of course not. You're Nosferatu. You heal that right up.
Please tell me the elevator comes.
I'm punchy today. It's been a
Lobby
while for
or
Riza.
to the lobby or the 13th floor?
13th floor, please.
Joss? And the attendant takes you up. When you exit now, there are fewer Hessians present in the office, though there are still quite a few, and most of them have now had a chance to actually change, as opposed to being in the dusted and frayed uniforms they were in the last time you saw them. The heavily injured are no longer strewn about, either having been healed or recuperating elsewhere. You are free to ask that question if you feel so inclined. Shortly after you get off the elevator, the doors open to the main office, and out stops the walking mountain that is Hans Koenig, the current field commander of the Hessian detachment currently in Paris, at request of Hubert Fianterie. Guten Abend, Fraulein, mein Herr.
Evening.
You are expected. And
Thank you.
Hans steps out of the way, as does Garrison, who also gives you both a nod as you step in. Hubert is scribbling away on some paperwork. After the door closes, he goes, I think Garrison called me here more to take over this paperwork than to deal with the city falling under threat. Because it just seems like a lot of paperwork spontaneously appears during this whole situation. Or maybe it just seems that way because I have to help with court duties.
Well, I would assume
It's
the paperwork
probably-
is from the mountain of trouble. Isn't it?
Well, I mean,
And it probably just feels worse than it is because there's, more interesting and pressing stuff going on than paperwork.
there's also payroll checks, and then there's making sure bills get paid and making sure this ordering gets done because people have other jobs to do. Right.
Well, didn't your employee count just increase tenfold, like in 2 days?
No, especially not since we had to arrange for some of the hired help to begin deviating to Vienna under your notification. Oh, this is going to be a headache. Of that much I'm certain. But yes, that is not why you are here. Are you both prepared to continue on with this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hubert comes from around the desk. He unbuttons the one sleeve and extends his arm to Vern. Vern, please make me a willpower check.
All right, and Riza stands ready to weakly try to... Oh wait, I have 3 XP now. I bought a dot and brawl. There we go.
Oh, good.
Just in case I have to stop a diablerie.
Or successes.
For successes, you are able to avoid going into your frenzy as you drink deep the veins of this man, who's been nothing but a good guy to you. He's been really solid. Like, Garrison was nice, but Hubert, he's been putting in the effort. You're feeling a strong connection to this guy. Like, you really want to give it your all for him,
Even
but you
more
also
so
kind of
after
want to take it all from him.
Yeah.
So roll me willpower as you go for your 4th dot of blood bonding.
Welcome to being a vampire.
I'm gonna
daddy.
use a +1 player +1 on this. I really don't want to. I feel like this is getting harder and harder.
Vern, tell you what. I'll gift you a storyteller +1.
Oh,
So you
thank
can roll
you.
another die on top of it.
Mostly because you don't want me fucking this up on Hubert.
I will not deny that I have selfish motivations for this kindness.
That is
Hey,
5. We're doing okay here.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave, for +1 willpower to the pool. So we also have those.
Yes. You are able to drink deep and pull away. And again, you feel this powerful urge to protect this man who has been so good to you, who has gone so out of his way to help protect you and provide you just about everything you need. Also because he's looking a little drained, not, entirely.
Well, that's just dust.
Ms. Riza, it's your turn.
Merci.
You, of course, have to roll much lower on willpower to avoid diablerizing this poor bastard.
Don't jinx it, man. This is what it is to be vampire daddy. You're daddy, but your children might eat you. When baby eats daddy, it's... never mind. What am I rolling?
Willpower.
Okay. And just straight willpower, no hunger die or anything. Well, no, this is about hunger.
No hunger die on willpower.
Thank you, dice. 2 successes.
All right. That is your third dot of blood bonding without issue. Roll me one more, please. And Vern, I assume you're at the ready to stop Riza before she walks your dark path?
Yeah. We only need 1 Diablerist in this 2-person coterie. Frankly, that's too many, but I stand by my decision.
Wait, roll willpower again?
Yes, because you're feeding for your 4th dot. That was the only way you guys could manage to get blood bonded to the 6th degree in the course of 3 months.
It's different now. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, it doesn't cap at 3 anymore. It caps at 6.
That is 4 successes. So I get the taste for it, but now I'm like, no, quiet, beastie beast. I'm just gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, you're definitely
on
getting
my terms, beastie beast. Shush.
Oh yes.
Bad. Down, Jetson.
You are very much getting a taste for it in the no, I want this tap to keep flowing taste.
Daddy must be protected.
And if you play your cards right, he's not just blood daddy, he's sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm. Mortimer doesn't mind sharing. Or he didn't. I mean, he's been dead-ish for a while now, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's been unable to tend to needs, so it would be a little weird for him to be jealous about that. Plus, he's not a Shimise who would be super possessive about that sort of thing.
Are the Shimisi possessive about that?
The Shimise are possessive about everything.
Baron, blah de blah.
Dragon. Yeah.
Dragon Baron, blah blah blah.
Yeah. So you are able to pull your teeth out of his wrist. He is he is thoroughly drained, not in the way you're accustomed to leaving your male partners, but it's
well, I mean,
he's like,
Toreador celerity, not stamina. So, Toreador speed, not stamina. There we go. They're sprinters, not marathon runners.
That depends on the Toreador, but that's besides the point. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to need to arrange something for myself now. Do you two have any plans for the rest of this evening?
Well, I'm gonna try and check in with the local Malkavian Primogen to see if she's doing okay, but I don't know if the Primogen are still embroiled in political chaos right now.
Kind of, but you could probably make time for you. They are not currently meeting at the court, as the court is
exploded,
undergoing heavy renovation. They are currently meeting. They are currently meeting underneath a museum that functioned as the Toreador Primogen's haven. I will get you the address.
Oh, thank you.
And she should be able to make some time for you there, but I need to eat something before I eat someone else. And he scribbles out directions for you and passes it along. I will have a driver and some guards ensure that you get there safely, just in case we've missed anyone. And he steps back around on the desk, picking up the phone and calling to the front desk for the full meal package.
Which is code for murder.
I mean,
as we learned during our stay here, even before the Bali nonsense.
It was the night before I diablerized someone. I murdered a human person, and then I murdered a kindred person.
You level up quickly, Vern.
And then Isabel had no idea what a full meal meant, so they then had to quietly dispose of someone.
Yep.
So yes, you two step out of the office. What would you like to do? Do you wish to travel together? Do you wish to go apart and pursue different avenues?
Yeah, do you want to come with, or you gonna look for your Nos friends downstairs?
I checked in with them last night. They seemed extraordinarily busy. I'll come along.
All right.
Assuming your friends aren't gonna hate me for being there.
I mean, it's a court. I mean, bitch all they like. The Nosferatu and the Malkavians exist, and we're useful, so they can suck it up. In the not
Fair.
fun way. Oh, the fun way. I don't know.
Now come along then.
How did Mortimer used to say it? Bugger 'em? No, don't bugger 'em, just to spite 'em.
I'll have to ask Mortimer for clarification one day.
Let's hope. Let's hope there's an opportunity.
All right.
And now I need to remember what I wanted to talk to the Primogen about. Notes. Did I write it in my notes? I'll wing it. I'll figure it out.
All right. So, you are taken down to the private parking garage so as to avoid bothering the kind with Vern's presence. You've come down here before in order to move sort of freely in and out when you need to go to the street without having to go through the catacombs first. You are met there by Hubert's personal driver and 2 Hessian guards who will be overseeing your protection. The doors are opened for you both as you arrive. You are able to slide in, the doors are closed, and off you go. If you hand the directions up to the driver, he drives you around and eventually takes you to the Musée d'Orsay, which is...
Of course,
is
it's a Toreador Haven.
Yeah.
Say it's a Toreador... tell us it's a Toreador Haven without saying it's a Toreador Haven. Musée d'Orsay.
It's an art museum, it's a dance club, it's some do restaurants. There are a few. But you are brought round to a secluded side entrance by the loading docks from which art is brought in and removed over the course of shifting displays and taking things to and from storage and trading with other museums and galleries. And there is a door which leads downward to where the real art is displayed, as opposed to several of the facsimiles that are put up top for the kind to look at. Just to be clear, I am not saying that the Musée d'Orsay in real life actually puts fake paintings up. What I'm saying is that the Toreador keep the real stuff in Vampire.
I follow.
Yeah.
I feel that sometimes I say things that are misunderstood, so I'm making clear I am not disparaging the real museum.
Fair and understandable.
It's the world of darkness. So the 1% are the 1% we can't see.
Yeah. So you are escorted down into a large and lavish hall with statuary and paintings adorned all over. And you can hear voices off in the distance, you especially, because you have heightened senses cranked on all the time. And you can hear many voices speaking heatedly in French. You are greeted by several ghouls as well as younger kindred who are in attendance, and were notified of your arrival and guide you to a place to sit. They offer you refreshments. Whether or not you partake is entirely up to you. They do not immediately default to the assumption that your refreshments would be food or drink. They assume blood. It's only people like Hubert that lean to food and drink first, because he's special. He wants more kindred like him. After about 2 or so hours, there is eventually call for a recess, and the doors open, and several of the kindred step out, some of them much more upset than others and continuing to bicker and bitch at each other because kindred, especially old kindred.
No, I want to wear the bullseye t-shirt. No, I want to wear it. No, he should wear it. No, yeah.
Oh, of course the Toreador would insist that they take over. But while most of the others are distracted by their petty little complaints and feuds, you notice one familiar Primogen who is attempting to speak to another familiar Primogen, but she has just brushed him off and is beelining towards you because she knew you showed up before you knew you were showing up.
Yeah, yeah. Hashtag Mulk life. So she just on the La Sombra Primogen.
Yeah, and
like
and once
you do.
Once he turns and sees you, he's like, I'm going to get a drink. Darling, welcome.
Darling, it's wonderful to see you again. I'm glad to see that you are physically all right.
I am a little disturbed by what I see when I look at you, child.
Things happened. I'm sorry.
Yes. I am, of course, referring to the fact that both of you are showing signs of having... Well, I received some warning about you because I would be the one most likely to notice, Vern. No offense.
None taken.
But it's the marks of... And she sort of looks to the left and right before leaning in and whispering into your ear, Riza. Who has been bonding you, child? Is there someone I need to take care of?
Oh no, unorthodox as it is, this was consensual on both our parts. An informed consent. The devil you know, shall we say.
And you chose a devil besides me?
Well, I mean, this other devil kept buying me dinner. I'm
Really?
sorry, sweetie, he just got there first. And, like, we could have had more time, but then, you know, all the things happened.
No. It just almost feels out of character for him. No, I mean, really, I've never known a Toreador to have that few ghouls. Like, blood bonding's just not normally his thing, let alone to other kindred.
Well then, maybe we chose the right daddy. Well, for now.
Perhaps. So, what can I do for you?
I just, well, wanted to know if you'd happen to pick up anything else in all the, chaos. We had our own chaos to deal with, unfortunately. But so did all of the rest of Paris, it sounds like. All the chaos dropped at once.
We it did. But shortly after everything was cleared, that white noise in the network faded. I assume that had something to do with you.
GM, we didn't actually encounter the ex-Malkavian, or the person I suspect of being an ex-Malkavian. No, we talked to the other guy, and then his other guy.
But Königsmacher, you were informed that Königsmacher did fuck off right at about the time things were exploding in Paris.
Mm-hmm. Is there someplace a little bit more quiet we could talk, or is that not appropriate in the Parisian court? I'm very new here.
It's the Primogen's Haven, which we're using as a surrogate court because it's basically the next best thing to court, because court is currently a gaping hole. I'm sure we can find something. She calls over one of the attendants and Vern, you don't speak enough French to understand. Riza, you do. She basically requests for a private audience chamber where they can discuss things quietly, and she actually means quietly. She will check for the listening holes.
This is how we start every Malkavian clan meeting. Scream at the top of our lungs to deafen any Tremere that are listening with heightened senses. The old days! Anyway. Justin was also there for that meeting. We old school. Anyway, but yeah. Frickin' Tremere. Am I right?
So you are escorted to a private chamber, which she then begins peeking behind every painting, sliding aside every bit of furniture.
Yeah, I heighten senses to see if I notice any hidden doors or grates or...
Okay, in that case, make me a wits awareness check, please.
Wits... Yeah, nobody does paranoia like my clan. We invented that shit. But I didn't, because I botched. Or no, wait, I forget. Do ones count as botches now? I got
ones. Ones are only an issue if you roll them on Hunger Die, which on the official, there we go, on the official 5th edition dice have this little skull on them. But otherwise, ones are just a blank face on regular.
Okay, I got a 6 and 2 ones.
You got a success.
I got a... Okay. So that kind of... Okay. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Because I'm too old school.
You don't notice anything. She seems satisfied with her own purview before sitting down on a lounging chair and bidding you both to sit across from her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Vern seemed confused, like, do I go with the... I would take Vern along. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'll just like...
nudge. Come on.
You're in the lead here.
Like, Riza knows how to talk around things in front of outsiders, and she doesn't want to leave the neon Diablerist in the middle of a room of unknown vampires.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving myself in a room full.
Mostly, Vern, you've just been getting, like, stink eyes or ignored by the Toreador kindred, and you've been watching the subtle fight against vomiting that you'll find in some of the ghouls who are less inclined to dealing with those of your appearance. So it's like,
oh, so they're just being racist.
This way.
That's a them problem.
Yeah,
I live for that shit.
There's a reason why there's not a lot of love for the rest of the Toreador.
So there wasn't. Oh well. I suppose a Nosferatu Primogen might have had Mask of a Thousand Faces or whatever it's called now.
Yeah, the Nosferatu Primogen was actually wearing a physical mask.
So it is Phantom of the Opera. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a porcelain mask that was basically done up with prostitutes' makeup.
Nice.
Actually, if you want to make me an intelligence history check.
Ooh.
Because you did a little research into Paris before you came here and into the vampire culture.
Oh, yes I did. You said intelligence history?
Yes.
I don't think history is a skill.
No, but I have it as...
Oh, that's right. It's academics. It's academics with special...
But I have a skills spec in history.
Yeah. So that adds you the one extra die.
Okay. Lots and lots of dice.
I keep forgetting history is not a skill on here anymore.
Yeah. But I cheated.
The first couple times you called for it, I was like, did I just get a bad sheet off the internet somewhere that missed it? Or is it not actually there?
No, we just got
history.
a bad
It's just not there.
Yeah, it just got rolled into academics.
Which makes sense, honestly.
It does, but it doesn't, because history can also deal with kindred history that doesn't necessarily fall into academic study.
True.
But you can follow it academically. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't write this game.
You could roll that into a cult, I suppose, but...
5.
Okay. With 5, You would be aware, in one of the great slights against the Toreador, pretty much the antithesis of the Nosferatu, that the Nosferatu primogen in Paris has a long history of wearing masks, meant to emulate in an unflattering fashion the sire of the current Toreador primogen.
Nice.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, that. Yes.
We're so here for that, honestly.
Yes.
And the only reason the Toreador primogen can't do shit about it,
Because if he
was
takes off his
because-
mask, the Toreador explode.
well, it was also because the prince didn't care for the primogen's sire, number one. And number two, Nos outnumber the Tories. You can run, but we'll eventually catch you.
Well, you can run, but you can't hide, because the Nos invented that shit.
Yeah.
So yes, there was one primogen there wearing a porcelain mask made to look like a woman's face with garish whore makeup. And you knew exactly who that was and who that was. Well, you had an idea of who it was supposed to be, not necessarily the specifics thereon.
And he's making fun of his sire in his own haven.
Yeah.
That's a power move, man. Yes, respect.
I mean, to be fair,
Respect.
the Nosferatu primogen might have rethought that if there had been enough time to get another mask due to the current state of things, but there was literally no time to get another mask and still subvert somebody who treats them like shit. But,
Explosions. Anyway, back into this room.
Yes. So, yes. After everything went all bright and green, and we were cleaning bits of imposters and traitors off of us, I found that the network no longer had that buzz, that what do the people who listen to the radio call it?
The
Static.
Yes, the white noise. Well, according to some of his minions, Koenig Macha fucked right out of Paris about the time everything exploded. Also, I finally met the person claiming to be Tremaine Thoreau. And when I saw the person masquerading as him, I realized I'd seen that face in the burning building full of, 7 of our clan and 3 others, so he was one of the 3.
Well, at least Tremaine wasn't a dirty, filthy traitor. I mean, no one deserves to be burned alive, not even him, but...
So, the clues did all come together towards the right point, just, an ancient demon cult came out of mythology, and that was a bit out of left field for me. Because I thought they were I thought the Bali weren't real, or just I didn't know.
There is a moment where her face just changes.
Wait, no one told it out. Wait, what? Wait, no, what?
Did you just say
The B word? Yes.
the Bali are
Ye-
responsible for this?
Yeah, or a group claiming to be them, or using that mythological bullshit as their facade. Having talked to one of their windbaggier minions, it sounds like their intention isn't to destabilize Kindred and then take over. It's actually just to destroy everything on this earth up to the gates of heaven. Blah de blah de blah. If one of our family had been talking like that, we would have taken him out back. But
The circle of the hand.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The circle of the flaming hand. They were a subcategory of the Bali.
Alright.
I thought them wiped out ages ago.
Well, apparently not. So I take it flaming hand means green flames.
Green flames were a thing I heard. I only ever watched them, their youngest forcefully turned, light themselves up with sunlight to sear at the flesh of older kindred, and those who could explode into sunlight, which is what I encountered here. I thought that someone had just begun to discover that they could do it, rediscover some ancient old art. I think I had fought the idea that they could have returned.
Well, from what little we've learned, and it feels very little, on our evening trip out to Thoreau's chateau, my understanding is that those in the cult now consider themselves ex-members of kindred clans. So at least one of them is might be an ex-Malkavian. Or just have sickeningly high levels of auspics.
Can you describe this person?
Well, one of them is the lady I saw when I was in the coach, in the mirror, in the window that time, I think, with the blood scarring chiseled, and the annoying man, the obnoxiously overconfident man we met in the chateau, and she describes what he looked like. He also had like the tattoo scar, the ritual scarring for blood magic too, right?
The marks just started opening on his flesh.
Yeah.
And forming. May I enter your mind a moment, please?
Yeah.
So she reaches across the coffee table between the two of you. She places her hands on either side of your temple. And Vern, this is all very awkward for you, but for you it's over pretty quick. From Riza's point of view, on the other hand, you find yourselves now sitting back in the carriage ride when you first encountered the image of what you would identify as Königsmacher. And you watch as she turns to look at the reflection, held still there, frozen in time, the hat down over the eyes. I didn't see it clearly before. You shouldn't be here. And you watch as the lips of the static form curl. Oh, I'd never leave. How could I ever leave my sweet child behind? At which point you are both forcefully thrown out of this. So Vern, from your perspective, the Primogen just reaches over, touches Riza's temples, and then about a half second later, both are thrown back into their seats.
Wait, I thought the vision I saw in the carriage was oh wait, so Königsmacher is a woman.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, I didn't.
I started to suspect that last week and didn't say anything.
I can't believe it took me that long. What the fuck's wrong with me? Because that's exactly what I would have done. Yeah. Alright, so...
Are you both okay?
She's supposed to be dead. She's supposed to be dead. I watched it die. She's supposed to be dead. She's supposed to be dead. I watched it die.
Riza's just gonna comfortingly try to just take her hand gently and just comfort. Because, yeah, this is fucked up.
When I looked in your mind before, I couldn't see the face clearly. There are one of two possibilities right now. Either my sire survived her death and has betrayed me, or someone is walking around wearing her face. Either way, I do not care. This is a thing that cannot stand. You are going to attempt to go after her, aren't you?
Well, the plan is, and why we've gotten ourselves blood bonded to Darlin Hubert, is our plan was to go to Vienna for other reasons, but now it seems like Königsmacher did not only already have my sire's body in some form, but they also kidnapped his spirit, which I no longer have connection to. So I can't not go.
You cannot face her.
Well, the offer on the table, which I don't trust as far as I could throw this whole building, is that we go to Vienna, I help get something for her under Vienna, and then I get my husband back.
What do you mean, something?
She was not specific. It was one of those, oh, you'll know it when it comes up, dear, just supervillain bullshit.
No.
The Bali are these assholes are absolutely obsessed with games.
She runs for the door. She throws the door open. She starts screaming out. At which point, 4 primogens who hear their names shouted come rushing up.
Names are called. Okay.
Yes.
Not a break.
Send people to the... And again, you're hearing this because she is now rapidly firing it off in French. Send people to the court. I'm calling every Malkavian we can. Get to the second catacombs. Make sure it's still there. 3 of them look a little confused. Vern, you know Nosferatu body language enough from when they have to deal with certain other clans and they'll obscure their faces in one way or another. At the mention of the second catacombs, you watch the porcelain mask's figure stiffen. I will have them in there immediately, and I will lead that charge. And that primogen bolts right out.
This was all a smoke screen.
The Toreador primogen is like, what's going on? What is this? It's at this point that she bids everyone else return to the chamber, and she calls the 2 of you in with her. And has the doors closed behind them.
Into the main chamber?
Into the meeting chamber. Into the meeting chamber they were all in before.
This was all a smoke screen. This was all a distraction.
Yes and no. The circle of flame definitely does want to burn everything to the ground.
But their true target was whatever it is you're freaking out, whatever it is you're worried about.
Now there are primogens who are starting to throw a hissy fit. We just got out. And she uses Dominate to tell them all to sit.
Iconic.
There are so many women Riza wants to. Okay.
The two of you theoretically have a chance to resist her using Dominate, but
I don't want to.
Kind of don't really get the chance. Just pow into seats.
She didn't even have to look at us. Oh, sexy elder level Dominate.
The only one that is able to resist it at first is the Ventru primogen. But when she locks eyes with him, there is a moment that crosses his face that goes, okay, this is serious. And he quietly takes his seat. And she begins going, I have just been informed that there has been action taken and attempts by our assailants and their allies in Vienna to acquire resources, to acquire something buried under the city. And it occurs to me that all of this and all of these explosions, which could cause the first level of catacombs to collapse underneath the court, would spare the second catacombs while we were all busy scrambling around the city. I believe our assailants are targeting the sleeping Methuselah underneath the cities of Europe. And there is a long silent pause before the Toreador Primogen leans forward and goes, I thought that was a myth. The Ventru Primogen leans over and he goes, that's adorable. It's your Methuselah down there.
Reese is trying really hard not to laugh.
Actually,
no, she's just doing this. She's just...
I will say that Vern, for your benefit at this point, you are hearing this sort of auto-translate in your head, courtesy of the Malkavian Primogen.
Oh, so thank you.
So you're hearing so basically what you're hearing is muffled French, but in your head you're hearing audible English. So it's kind of like you've got the two audio tracks playing at the same time, and one's kind of drowning out the other.
If survive, move to Paris.
Now, after the mentioning of a Methuselah sleeping underneath the cities of Paris and Vienna, I would need you both to please make me an intelligence occult check.
Oh, there's more on Go After Mithras. Oh, that's a kaiju battle I want to see.
I'm gonna do very poorly at this. This is all I got.
What was the roll?
Burn. Because you're a Nos, you get a bonus die on this because it deals with the underground of Boston.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, god damn. Methuselah's everywhere. We're just burying him. What was the roll?
Intelligence occult, please.
Int occult. Oh.
3 successes.
I take it this isn't about sorcery.
It is not.
That's fair. 8 dice. Shake, shake, shake.
Yeah, that's why I keep you around, gonna be honest.
That is... Let me just take out the non-successes. 1, 2, 3, 5. Who's asleep under Boston?
With 3 successes and 5 successes, you both know that a major rumor as to why the Sabbat are so frequently attacking Boston is the belief that there are 2 Methuselah buried underneath its streets.
2?
One from the colonial era, and who had a hand in founding Boston, and another who predates that Methuselah by about 2,000 years. So
Yikes.
The stories go. So the rumors entail.
So a Viking and a Dutchman? No, Dutch was our,
One European descended, one indigenous.
Oh! My brain today.
It's fine. To be fair, the World of Darkness material in any edition has not been super great on discussing indigenous kindred.
Or indigenous anyone from people I know who are.
When it comes to dealing with indigenous American kindred, they've named like 5. And they had all sorts of children that just sort of disappear between then and like the modern knights, which is a just terribly missed opportunity, but that's besides the point. Vern, you're aware that there are a second set of catacombs that collapsed underneath the ones the Nosferatu use and were just sort of left abandoned. It just seemed like a thing that no one ever needed. The Nosferatu population never got that big in Boston. But now hearing this, you both reflect on the rumors as to why the Sabbat keep attacking Boston. And you remember that Königsmacher told you an assassination attempt was being made on Prince King.
Yeah. So they're trying the same play in every city, or any city where they can find a sleeping Methuselah. Do the Sabbat generally keep attacking because they want to kill the Methuselahs or diablerize them? Or
whichever
both?
they can.
Whichever they can manage.
Yeah. If they can't successfully diablerize it to add to their own power, they exterminate it.
Okay.
But to be fair, most will attempt to exterminate unless they themselves are also fairly old and capable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a group of younger ones might try to feed on a torpid Methuselah in order to take some of their power without, completely diablerizing and therefore evading possession. So yes, there is now another long moment of silence before the Primogens all start getting very riled up about what to do now. And she goes, all we can do now is wait and see if it's still buried down there. And we can only hope that everyone else is receiving sufficient warning through the Hessians and through the contacts of the Sabla in order to ensure that the others that are out there, whether they be there or not, are contained. Because if they are found, and if they succeed in diablerizing them, adding to their numbers, we could be looking at a large-scale assault of a power unprecedented. This could be the Gehenna War in modern nights. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I plan on spending a few more millennia walking around before I have to go do that. The Primogens all sit there silently for a moment. And after a while, the Ventru Primogen stands up and goes, we need to put all of this behind us. We need to start moving forward as a unified front. I put forward the name of Primogen Dominique as Principalis. And this throws off the Malkavian Primogen named Dominique as much as it does anyone else.
Definitely move to Paris.
There's a moment where it looks like the Toreador Primogen is going to object to that before the newly appointed Bruja Primogen goes, seconded. At which point the Lasombra Primogen goes, third. And then the others just start raising their hands. Dominique, you are one of the three kindred who has lived in this city the longest and is still existing. Besides, of course, myself. You know far more about the underground than I do. And this reminds me a lot of a plan you and I had a hand in stopping about 1,500 years ago. I didn't want it to be them either. I really thought we wiped them out. So did I. Right. Well then, once again, back into the trenches. And I trust you to hold the politics, and I hope you will trust me to get the dirty work done. I trust a warrior king to be a warrior king. Any outstanding objections? I will remain silent. Then, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin trying to fortify Paris and send whatever messages you can by whatever means you can. The Camarilla needs to step up, and we need to call whatever Anarch allies we have. Hell, at this point, whichever one of you has been secretly trading with the Sabbat, you don't need to worry. We all know you're not nearly as clever as you think you are. Tell them. Tell the Sabbat. Because this is probably the one time they'll actually agree with us. And if nothing else, maybe we can have the Sabbat and the Pali wipe each other out. I mean, not to wipe them out too much. I'm looking forward to putting a couple of heads on spikes. You would. You're a bruja. At which point, what should have been a much longer meeting is quickly closed off.
Risa in her brain is just like, one, wonderfully entertained. Two, what the fuck did I just do? Three, so entertained. Came here to have a nice convo with my Primogen, freaked the shit out of her, and got her promoted.
Yeah.
Go! Inside.
And got
in her head.
And got the Paris courts cooperating.
With potentially the Sabbat, like...
Well, they're going to leak information to the Sabbat. You know, tell them where they can start finding Methuselah. And then just let them deal with the Bali.
Yeah, because it's not like that idea went badly in the 2000s that hasn't happened yet. No, that was, let's just have the hunt, let's just make humans hunt the Sabbat.
I mean, to be fair, that was the...
Let's make someone else deal with this problem in an indirect way. No.
It's the kindred way. Especially the Camarilla. Don't get your own hands dirty when you can get someone else to do it for you.
The kindred way. The zeroth tradition. We have people for that.
Child, I advise you again. Don't go to Vienna. You're not prepared for her.
If I may be so bold as to ask a boon of the Prince of Paris, is there anything you can do or say or explain to prepare me?
Well, I don't know. Do you feel like Diablo-raising your way up a few generations? That's not a legitimate request, but that is literally the only thing I can offer that would make you even remotely prepared to face her.
Nope. I'm not interested in Diablo-raising anyone. It's crowded enough up in here already.
There's only one other thing I can do for you that might help you better protect yourself against any mental assault they may manage. This is going to be a little awkward, and you're going to have some explaining to do.
Explaining to whom?
You know who. And she places her hands against your head.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And you find yourself now not on a Parisian street and not in an autopsy center, but you find yourself in a well-adorned banquet hall in some ancient castle in some long-forgotten part of Europe, some lingering memory of the Primogen from some era long gone. Sitting at the head of the table is the Primogen. Riza, you are sitting there with a fine meal in front of you and a goblet near overflowing, and across from you sits Charisse. Charisse, you find yourself here in this lavish estate. A woman you don't recognize to your left, and sitting directly across from you, a woman you have vague recollections of. Looks like she might be a cousin or something of yours. You see a family resemblance. This is all I can offer you two, as a chance to stand against the potentially mental attacks that you will encounter. I can do little to prepare you for the sunlight or for the balefire or whatever weapons are possessed by your enemies. But if you truly seek to reclaim Mortimer from the grips of Königsmacher, all I can offer you both is the chance for full unbridled cooperation and communication. Dissever the barrier between your minds.
Wait, does that mean... Well, you can't...
No,
You can't just erase a Malkavian's derangement.
I'm not placing the
So we're still each of us, but we're we can remember...
no more secret.
So we'll be able to remember each other's experiences directly.
You will be able to speak to each other directly.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I am Dominique Danclaude, Primogen. Apologies. Newly appointed Prince of Powers.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
What's going on?
I am the former Primogen of Clan Malkavian. You are aware that the spirit of your sire Mortimer has been taken by the kindred Königsmacher.
Oh, that was Königsmacher! Yes.
And you are still determined to go and face her.
I mean, perhaps there's a way to not face her directly. They all seem terribly overconfident and like playing too many games at once, and just I can't not go. I understand the risks and the sacrifices, but I can't not go.
When I last knew the kindred known as Königsmacher, she was a 6th generation kindred. And she has allied herself with an order that is not above diabolizing those of lower generation or the same generation to advance their power. So I cannot guarantee that she has not already breached potentially into the realm of Methuselah. This is the last warning I can give you, to convince you to step away from this for your own sakes, for you two have been good, and you have been helpful. And I would hate to see such potential lost. This is the only other offer I can give you, to give you any sort of protection against something she or her subordinates might attempt. Before each of you is an empty chalice beside the full one. If each of you bleed into it and then drink from the other's cup, it will dissolve the barrier between your two personalities. There will no longer be a division between you both. You will both be constantly aware, constantly in communication, unless you choose to go dormant within the back of the mind for, well, privacy's sake.
And at this point, Charisse looks across the table at Riza. I'm sorry, who are you? And Riza's just like, I mean, it'll be less fun, but this is more important. I can learn new fun later. Just, all right. I'm a friend. Don't worry. And it's like, I mean, I am a little worried. Just...
If you drink from this cup, you will gain a greater understanding of your unique derangement.
Ooh, oh, I like that. And just click. Yeah, Charisse will go for it.
All right. And Riza and Charisse trade cups and each drink. And at this moment, Charisse, you attain perfect clarity as to what Riza is. And while you don't recall your blackouts, you now perfectly understand the different handwriting. And all those times you wake up places slightly disheveled and with more buttons popped than you recall ever willingly popping when you weren't changing clothes.
And why I have all those strange dreams waking up next to naked people? I don't know. Oh, all right. Well, that explains a lot.
Now, both of you can attempt to resist effects placed against you mentally.
Because I'm the one with the daring and the willpower, and she's the one with the focus.
Also because now anytime someone attempts to dominate or use presence against you, they must overcome 2 wills rather than 1.
Oh, I like that.
Because of your unique derangement, this is the only power I can give you.
All right. Oh, by the way, while we're alone, Vern's Diablerie lands are green because he ate a Bali. So you might want to warn your people not to diablerize Bali. Like it was a heat of the moment. He and his Nosferatu friend Philippe were about to be killed, and this was the only way they could think of to stop it.
I was forewarned.
Okay.
And while none of us have ever diablerized the Bali because the Bali were unnatural by even our standards, and so many of them had a tendency of exploding into flame and sunlight, there was never an attempt to do so.
Well,
but I know the side effects of it. I have a better idea of what to look for in the event someone has, or if they have been cannibalizing within their ranks.
Okay.
So once again, useful information, which I will spread to all others who use Auspex.
And I know, well, in the United States, sometimes a Camarilla warrior will be awarded the right to diablerize a Sabbat prisoner as a reward. But don't let them do that here.
No.
Bad idea.
We will initiate Bali protocols amongst all of us old enough to remember them, and then they will drive it home into their children and grandchildren.
Wait, so the Bali are real and these are them?
They were real. I thought I had exterminated them in that last purge a millennia and a half ago.
Okay.
That was quite a battle. I lost many good friends that day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I lost many children that day. 2 sisters and a brother, and many, many ghouls. And now I begin to wonder if my sire had already turned at that point and faked their demise and only led me to believe that they were wiped out and had been building up in the interim. They broke in powers most dangerous. I wish you both the best, but this is all I can offer you.
Well, thank you. This is a lot.
I suggest you both also take the time to decide who's going to, what is the phrase, take the wheel when I pull us from this dream state.
I need some time to process. You can take the wheel.
You can put yourselves into a privacy state, either for the privacy of the one driving or for yourself when you have to have your own thoughts and you don't need to control your form. But it will feel a little awkward at first, but I have faith that the two of you will be able to get a handle on things.
We'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Have fun explaining this to Vern.
I'll make it fun.
So Vern, from your perspective,
yeah,
the Malkavian Primogen just placed hands against Reese's temples again. Was there 2, maybe 3 seconds before just pulling away, much less violently? Good evening, sir, and I wish you best of luck going forward. Unfortunately, there is precious little I can do to help bolster your abilities.
I understand that and didn't expect anything.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
All right, thank you for your time, Prince Dominique.
It's going to take some getting used to. As she saunters her way out of the meeting hall. So yes, you two are alone.
look to Charisse or Riza, just like,
We just incite chaos wherever we go now.
okay, I lack some understanding on what that chaos was.
You've noticed that my other half doesn't have any clue what was going on with us?
Yeah, and I made a split-second decision one day to just keep that secret.
Well, Dominique made it, she knows what's going on now. And we have some way of communicating between us instead of having, we'll figure it out. I think aside from having to rely on the notebooks. So we have some matter of permanent, well, maybe permanent communication with each other, and this might help us if someone tries to, mind blow us. It's gonna be interesting.
So you're saying, I don't have to elbow people to keep quiet anymore, and I don't have to explain things that you were there for?
No.
Presumably?
No on the first. I'm not entirely sure on the second, but let's hope.
We'll keep an eye on it.
She described it as we'll have a way to communicate with each other, but not just have each other's memories.
Well, here's the thing. Did Charisse close herself off, or would Charisse have just taken the back seat just to see what this was like?
I think Charisse is just taking the back seat because she's, eternally curious, but also, does need a moment to collect herself because,
that was a lot.
That was a lot.
So, from Charisse's perspective, she's sitting in a cinema, and she's watching and hearing everything from Riza's perspective.
So she's just got her sort of,
Yeah.
Why do I see taller from this point of view? Well, I guess she's standing up straighter? I don't know.
And at that point, you hear that commentary. You can hear her in the peanut gallery.
Okay, so now I've got two personalities and voices in my head. Well, no, I already had that because I had Mortimer. Oh, actually, no, it's kind of comforting because, I don't have Mortimer right now. It was getting a little too quiet.
And if you can't get Mortimer's body, he can sit in the movie theater with Charisse.
Yeah, we'll see how this works out. But, she was very, specific about this is a terrible idea and likely, no one said suicide mission, but, that's what I'm figuring out from context clues. So, you don't have to come with me if you don't want to. But I can't not go.
I mean, I was planning to go regardless of whether or not you wanted to, so.
Yeah, one of my convictions is, Malks must look out for each other because no one else will. So she's like, she can't not go.
And now you know that there's a Nos that'll look out for you, too.
Alright, sweetie. Well, let's go back to the hotel and, get ready to walk straight into a death trap full of exploding buildings and catacombs.
Yeah, it'll be great. What could possibly go wrong?
Wait, so this bitch wants me to go wake up a Methuselah for her. Wow. Burying the lead. Well, since the entire court of Paris knows, I guess we should go tell Daddy what's up.
Why do you have to say it like that?
Because it's the way you say it, sweetie. You'll learn. You're young yet.
It's because you're having too much fun with this, aren't you?
Also that, yes. See, you're learning.
You can feel Charisse sitting there in the seat going, Daddy? Who's
Charisse does know about it. The blood bonding.
Yes.
I didn't make a note about that.
She knows about the blood bonding because the sensual act caused Charisse to dig into Riza when Charisse started feeding.
Yeah.
Charisse has never heard Hubert referred to as daddy.
I have no idea.
That's fair.
What?
I mean, I tried that with Mortimer once. It was just a little weird.
Oh shoot! It's not. I forgot to set my alarm.
Yeah.
When do we get to meet Justin's character?
Actually, he was going to come in right after the break.
Okay.
Okay. Brilliant.
All right. So...
I mean, it depended on how long we took with this, but I was going to have him brought in just after the break.
Sorry, Justin.
It's okay.
Sorry.
There was too much exposition that we needed to get through.
Yeah.
Oh, totally okay.
Bali. Also, we accidentally triggered a coup, sort of, or an election. I don't know. Vampire politics. All right. So, chat. This is where we're going to take our 10-minute break. After which we will meet our new buddy. And he can decide whether he also wants to go on a suicide mission against the Bali. Yay!
Yeah. Well, we'll
burn this
discuss.
bridge when we come to it. Okay,
Yeah.
We'll see you in a few, chat. Bye! Hello, chat! We are back! I set the alarm this time! Yay! And this is Magic Fish Radio, and we stream tabletop RPGs on Tuesday and Saturday nights Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for watching live or joining us live if you are. Also, thank you if you're watching us from the future via VOD on YouTube or Twitch. The ads are less awful on YouTube. And let's get right back into it. Join our Discord. If you want more details, join our Discord. Back to vampirism.
So yes, when last we left the coterie, they were now excused themselves from the recently anointed prince and on their way back to their current base of operations in order to go speak to Hubert and the rest of his associates. They are brought in. You are taken up the elevator. You've done this now a dozen or so times. It's almost, you're pretty sure you could do it blindfolded at this point. You emerge onto the 13th floor, and you are brought out into the office. And as you're approaching, the office door opens, and you are gestured inside. And inside, you find the usual assortment of people. You see Hubert sitting behind the desk, speaking with Garrison. Hans has opened the door to allow you all in, but there is another figure currently in the room. Would you like to describe how? Well, actually, we'll start with getting you in here. At this point, Andrew, you've seen the Hessians moving about a little bit more than you normally would. They're a mercenary group made of Bruja. You've seen them pass through more often than not. Lots of kindred will pay for them through coin or boon in order to get jobs done. They've got a pretty good relationship with the gangrel in the Germanic parts of Europe, bleeding in over into the French and little bit of the northern Mediterranean area. You've had dealings with them in the past because sometimes they just need a little gangrel help because the gangrel are better at things than they are, and while other Bruja won't admit it, the Hessians are businessmen, so they will absolutely admit it. And they respect warriors. It is at this point in the evening when you are approached by a few people that you identify as Hessians. One of them you've seen before, a gentleman who's usually been very polite to you. And he reaches out to you and he goes, "Herr Giles, we were looking for you."
Really? Now,
Yes.
is there a reason why?
We would like to make you a job offer, sir.
Oh. So what is it this time?
How do you feel about helping us save all of Europe?
considering that I'm currently in Europe, I'd say that makes it a top priority.
And please hop in the car, and I will give you the details on the way.
Sure thing. I make my way along with them.
And you take your seat next to the Hessian, who you know is named Dietrich. You've encountered him a couple of times. He's always been very polite, very like some of the Hessians are still a little sort of like gangrel, like they'll look down on you a little bit because some Brujahs still have a stick up their ass, but like the real Brujah, the ones that have been doing this for a while, they've got a much stronger deal of respect for Gangrel and for you as well. And Dietrich is sitting there going, I'm not going to lie to you. Mein Herr, this is going to be a big ask. We are Palace recently came under attack, and we were called in by a long-standing client to help fix things. Then we found out that the people who attacked the palace are currently making plays on other major cities, including Vienna. And there are a couple of kindred that need to go to Vienna, and they think they've got a shot at making things less horrible. We can spare the Hessians we can, but we're an army that could maybe defend a city, not necessarily an entire continent.
Yeah. Things have to be really desperate if they're all the more wanting to go to Vienna. Because unless you're one of those certain people who live there, you tend to steer clear of that stuff. I'm like the country a bit, but then again, I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah.
Open spaces, stretch out, enjoy the night sky.
Well, how do you feel about busting open the skulls of a devil-worshipping kindred cult?
I'm sorry. Kendrick? Wait, what?
Tell me, my friend, what do you know about an organization called the Bali?
I'm sorry, the Bali?
I'm sorry, going back to the German character. Yeah.
I I don't know much about these guys. What the? How bad are these Bali?
They are devil-worshipping diablerists and terrorists, and apparently have added fleshcrafter to their ranks, as they recently replaced several key members in the Parisian court before initiating a explosive reintroduction to kindred society. I mean, literally, they detonated themselves when we tried to apprehend them.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah. We have other Hessians reaching out to every other gangrel troop that we can find in the area, reaching out to every possible city and ally we can. But there are two kindred that are determined to go into Vienna, and they have personal reasons, and unfortunately we don't have enough Hessians to offer them guidance, but I had hoped that you might be able to bolster their ranks a little bit. I trust you to get this done and get them out nice and safe. You'll be traveling with a Malkavian and a Nosferatu. I hope that's not a problem.
So, you know what? No, not really. As long as they're able to keep themselves in check, and if need be, know when to know when to fight and when to run, I think everything will be good.
No, one of them seems very down for a fight. The other one seems much more inclined to run.
Ah, so we got a bit of both. Okay.
Well, you can form your own assessment. Believe me, I won't fault you for saying no. I mean, it feels like just about everyone they've talked to about wanting to go in has tried to tell them no.
Oh,
But
they're either that brave or they're either that brave or that crazy.
apparently, one of the Bali is holding hostage someone dear to each of them.
Ah, that explains why they're going in. Makes sense.
I see those smirks. To be fair, that's their understanding because they don't know about your relationship.
I know. I just think it's really, really funny. Dear is stretching it.
Yeah, well, I think I can help out. Mind you, depending how things work out, I'll after this whole thing is over, if they survive, if we all survive, I'll send you the bill.
Uh, you've worked with Monsieur Fiontelli before. He's going to want to draw up a contract to make sure that you are amply prepared, though he'll leave clauses in the event you encounter unforeseen incidents.
Of
He's always
course.
very good for business.
Oh, most definitely.
So
Totally
you'll be
understand.
able to you'll be able to work out that with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So send him an invoice rather than a bill.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
He answers any other questions you have as you continue the ride into Paris. So if there are any other questions you have about the current situation, you can ask them now, or you can ask them once you're in the meeting hall with Hubert.
I think I'll hold off until we get to the meeting hall.
Okay.
That way I can get the full, that way I can get the information from not only a mayor, but also hear the opinions of those who are braving the trek into Vienna as well. Also to get over that.
So the handful of times that you've actually had to deal with Hubert, he's been based out in Alsace, which is a lot more open field and vineyard out there. So it's a little more gangrel friendly.
Yeah.
But you are now being pulled into Paris, where you know he has been stationed in the past. He has a long history here with the city.
Yeah.
And you are pulled into this private side parking garage, and you are brought up in an elevator to the 13th floor. You are escorted along this lavish office entranceway, where you are seeing a few dozen. No, it's just a dozen Hessian right now who are up here. Several of which are recognizing you, and they're nodding their head at you. The door opens, and you are greeted by this over 7 foot tall and nearly quite as wide in the shoulders man, who you have met a fair few times. His name is Hans Koenig, and he is a regular figure in the Hessians as a field commander in this area. And Andrew,
Hey.
come on in. You might regret saying yes. And inside you see Hubert, who again you've seen 3-4 times. He's either hired you directly for a job or hired you indirectly through the Hessians because the Hessians needed you for a job he hired them for. There's another kindred there you don't recognize, but the way he carries himself it's like, oh, Toreador.
Yeah.
Like you've dealt with their kind enough, which always makes dealing with Hubert weird. It's like, you know, he's a Toreador, but he looks you in the eye and he treats you with respect the way a lot of toreadors don't.
Yeah.
Because he respects capability. And he respects people who do a job and hold to their fucking contract.
Yeah.
You know, barring extenuating circumstances, you know, it's like, well, no, I would have killed the man if he wasn't attached to a tactical nuke. Obviously, I have to void the contract at that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, that sort of thing. He's got the honorable thing going. Now,
When,
now, mind you, once I enter, out of respect, take off my hat, hold on to it, put it on my arm.
welcome, mon ami. Please have a seat. This is going to be a long and ugly conversation, I'm certain.
Mm. Yeah, I've been getting the vibes and all that. Even Big Man up there's a little apprehensive about this whole thing.
So I will let the other two, when they come in, give you the specifics. But basically, I need you to help get them safely into Vienna, and with any luck, get all three of you safely out. As an opening bid, I'm offering 4 major boons that are within my power. And if they are not within my ability to pull with other kindred who owe me favors.
Oh,
He must like us.
wow. 4 major?
I know coin doesn't do you much good with your
Yeah.
favor in the wilds.
Of course. The fact that your starting price, your starting offer is 4 majors, tells me just how dangerous this is. But, you know, we just gotta, given that I've been dodging around, we've just been dodging around over a whole freaking war zone the last couple of years back. It's understandable.
Yeah, it's we stand on the precipice of a world of darkness war that could possibly bleed into a second world war. Especially if the Bali have their way. What little I know of them, they are a terrible threat. And from what little I've seen when they, tried to kill me in the middle of the Parisian court, definitely. What is the phrase the Americans use? It's a lit a fire under my ass. I very much want to see these monsters, these aberrations of kindred wiped out violently if need be. But that's why I'm pulling in every favor I can with every kindred that has 2 cents to rub together, because the ones with 1 cent sometimes don't have enough sense in order to get jobs done.
Quite understandable. So, where exactly are these 2 others that I'm going to be escorting?
They went to go speak with the Malkavian Primogen, Dominique Danclaude. I don't think you've met her, though you may have heard of her. I know some Malkavians will go skyclad into the wilds and frolic with the gango from time to time. I don't know how many of them talk about their Primogen when they do this, but I know it's a thing that at least 2 of them do.
Yeah. Well, when the Malkavians do come around, we tend to give them a bit of a wide berth, in case they have a bit of an episode.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. They should be along short. He's cut off by the sound of a phone ringing. And hello. That's really?
Who's Prince?
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Who's asleep under the city?
There's a what under here? There's a what in Vienna?
Oh, and it's his Methuselah too. You didn't know.
Well, one of his Methuselah.
Yeah. Great grandpappy.
Why do you mean you need there's more concern going to let? Wait, that's not a myth? Oh dear.
Mithra's kaiju battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so all the ancient cities, okay, just assume those myths are true until proven otherwise, right? Let's
go dig.
Oh wait. Right, but about Greece, there's a lot of myth about assume all are true until told otherwise. I need to place some calls to some Mediterranean associates. Thank you for the update. Give my best to the prince. I will be along to pledge fealty shortly. But I have things to do. Yes, she understands. Okay, yes, thank you very much. All right, that's one problem solved. The figure you don't recognize turns. Palace has a Malkavian prince now. What did Garrison? Quiet. Very simply put. Desperate times, desperate measures. She's the prince. You pay fealty. You keep the business running. That's what you have to do. Hans, please inform everyone that the Malkavians have had a recent boost in local standing as the prince is now a Malkavian prince. And please make sure that everyone understands that because the Malkavian prince is here, that might mean that the Malkavians of the city have become greater targets of political turmoil. So be extra careful around Malkavian havens. Yeah, what am I now?
I mean, they've already blown one up.
Yeah, yes. And that was when they were. That was when they thought it was just a good way to sneak in.
Yeah.
Now it's a good way to make a statement. Right.
Why do I have the feeling that my price just went up a little bit?
If I had gotten that phone call before you arrived, I would have been offering you more. So I'm going to cut you off here.
Understandable.
7 major boons. And I'm going to ask the Hessians to outfit you with equipment.
That bad, huh?
Well, I think you're going to get more of the story from your associates in a moment.
All then?
That's when another ring comes through on the intercom rather than the telephone at this point. That very grainy 1920s intercom, informing him that his guests are on their way up, and you're about to meet them.
Okay.
It's at this, and shortly after this, the doors to the office open. And would you care to describe Andrew Giles, and then the others will describe themselves to you, as this is currently your scene.
Okay. You notice sitting across the river from my bear is a kind of shaggy, long-haired looking gentleman, hold, with his hat under his arm. Dressed a little bit more differently than everyone else. More outdoorsy, rugged type. Kind of. While everybody else seems to look more European style in their clothing wear, he's more of a Americans, more of a American styled themed clothing.
Button-down flannel and blue jeans.
Is he a
Uh,
cowboy?
uh, well, yeah, a
Ooh.
little bit more urban style and such.
Hmm.
But you get that look from him. He turns around to the let's see as you enter, giving you the once over. You know, as he's like assessing you, it's like,
Would you like to describe your character so he knows what he's assessing?
Well, a woman walks in wearing. So it's the 1920s, and she's dressed like it's the 1890s, which is, I guess, yeah, it's still an anachronism, just different era. Um, but it looks good on her.
Mm-hmm.
And she has unbuttoned her chemise a bit and is wearing more like contemporary beady things and a big cute locket. And she's got a pair of glasses that are kind of in a shirt pocket. And she just sort of saunters in. Oh, hello, new friend.
I come in trailing a few steps behind Charisse, and Vern is like this scrawny, nervous-looking dude wearing very rumpled clothes and currently avoiding eye contact with everyone. For now, just trying to not draw attention to himself.
And very Nosferatu looking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I went to go talk to the Malkavian Primogen and accidentally kicked off a promotion.
Oh, I got the call. I passed along my condolences for not being able to come by and swear fealty and everything else, but circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Also found out what's buried under the city. That was fun.
Yep.
I have to call many people to deal with many myths and hope that they're myths.
So, oh, thank you for the follow. Sid 3 Grow Kid. Okay. I didn't relate this to you when we talked earlier because, I wanted to talk to my Primogen first because it seemed like a family thing. When Königsmacher said, oh, we'll give you Josiah back, but you have to find something for me under Vienna, and I'll tell you when you'll figure it out when you get here, and was all just supervillain, pompous and vague and all that. So I brought this up to to my then Primogen, and she, to put it bluntly, freaked the fuck out. And that's when I found out it was probably Methuselah.
Yeah.
To Vienna. I'm not sure whose, but apparently that's a trend. It's a very European thing to have a Methuselah sleeping under your city.
Yeah,
And there's rumors of it in Boston too, so they're trying to be all continental.
What little rumors I know, I think it's supposed to be a Tremere Methuselah, 5th generation under Vienna.
Oh god, no, no, I know we still have to go to. I know, but it's just Tremere.
Well, that's the other development.
Maybe we just
Charisse and Riza can talk now to each other.
The minute you say Methuselah level Tremere, it just
10.
like looks over here is like, oh, you gives him the
hey.
Oh, my price just went up even more.
Oh, is he coming with us? Hi.
That depends on if we reach an agreeable contract or not. Yeah, that's.
Well, it could be worse. We could be going to London. I kind of
didn't
want to
think
see what
that-
happens when they try to wake up Mithras. From
I
like
don't.
80 miles away, I
No.
want to see it. But, I want to see it.
I have friends in London. I don't want that to happen.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, I figured 7 was probably going to be the lowball estimate, but that's why I figured I'd open with it.
Sorry.
Art. Any, anyway. Anyway, pleasure to meet you too. Name's Andrew. And you would be.
I'm Riza, but if I start putting my glasses back on, just call me Charisse. Yes,
Ah.
I told him. Just chill out. I'm sorry. Just calm down. Chill out hasn't been invented
Just
yet.
gonna like pat Charisse / Riza on the arm. And
Look, I'm not
hold
not
out my
planning-
hand to Andrew for a handshake.
I know
I'm
not.
Vern Quincy.
I know not to do this.
She's
in
a
mixed
little
company.
crazy right now. It's okay.
Right now.
Incidentally,
This is the sanest
you-
I've been in years.
when you pat Riza on the shoulder, Charisse feels it in her seat.
Oh.
Touch me!
It's a dulled sensation, like it's being patted through like a thick comforter. But Charisse is aware that she receives tactile sensation as well as like the visual and auditory from her little movie theater. She's experiencing the full surround sound immersion experience before it's actually invented, because it's her head.
Of course.
Fun.
I first move over and shake Vern's hand. Name's Andrew. Pleasure to meet you. And then I move over to Charisse and I gently clasp her hand, move over. It's like, pleasure meeting you, ma'am.
And then she'll shake Mr. Andrews' hand. She's like, I can shake his hand. I'm not. No, shush. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is new to me. I promise. I know how to. I know how to behave in mixed company, and this ain't mixed. I think we all know what my clan is like. I assure you, we're both completely sane, and this is the most in sync we've ever been, so.
They're both very reliable in their various ways.
That's good to hear. So, anything else I should be aware of?
Have they told you about the Bali thing? Because they can explode into green flames and or sunlight.
Yeah,
And they're not like a cohesive clan unto themselves. They're like ex-members of other clans. So anything you've seen in Camarilla or Anarch or against the Sabbat, they potentially have access to that. And they like diablerizing people. But
good.
don't diablerize one because things get strange. So don't eat them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good to know.
A whole bunch of them infiltrated Paris. I assume by flesh crafting themselves to look like current residents, and then killing off those residents. Unfortunately. Oh, and they're also very long-winded, extremely overconfident, and I'm wondering if they're overplaying the whole "ooh, we have a game" thing. It's really annoying once one starts like monologuing. It's just ugh. But they managed to blow up half the kindred in Paris, so.
Well, yeah, that's something serious.
So yeah, I thought they were a myth. Apparently, there was a purge of them from Europe about 1,500 years ago, but they didn't get the whole infection and it grew back. They are very upset about that.
And now they've decided to make a
Comeback, and they're not like other kindred where it's like, let's destabilize the local politics and then take over. Their whole thing is not world domination, but world destruction. And I believe the intro speech was destroy all of the world and then all the way up to the gates of heaven. So they're nuts. And as a Malkavian, I can say that with an authority. They cannot be reasoned with or bartered with or anything. They're just bonkers.
Wow. You know it's serious when the ones who are considered crazy are calling other people crazy.
Oh,
I
if
can easily tell you it's something interesting.
my clan has a habit, we look out for each other, and if one of us started talking like that, any of these assholes have spoken to me, we would have taken them out back. Made
The
them take a
old,
nice dirt nap for a few decades until they calmed the fuck down.
and if that didn't work, the old put them out of their misery before
In
they get
extreme cases, we'd rather not do that, but some people take it too far. And the rest of the clans, no offense to anyone else in this room, there are many people who have been waiting centuries for an excuse to go clan hunting.
ah quite understand quite understandable. So, when do you expect to make your way out to
Uh,
Vienna? I understand.
I suppose we're ready to leave, now. Well, I mean, I just have to pack, but I think all our businesses, Vern? Or it's all our
2
business?
nights from now.
2 nights from now.
Well, you guys could theoretically leave tomorrow night.
Okay.
After you do your thing with Hubert.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could head out tomorrow night.
So that's actually that actually works. I've got to grab a couple of things, get prepared a bit, and I should be ready to help you guide your guide your way through the wilds. It's kind of a thing I can. It's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay.
But
Sorry,
if you
there's a
have,
bot.
yeah,
I thought I deleted it.
Did you get? Oh, okay, let me check.
Yep, message deleted.
Oh, okay. It's
Okay, cool.
yeah,
sorry, my screen's
but
being weird.
yeah, but if you need any info, just give me a heads up. I can tell you anything you need.
So you're a survivor.
Yeah,
Good. You'll need to be.
trust me. There's been quite a number of times I've taken a good wallop or two and still been standing a bit. But I digress. So, have you seen any of these Bali face to face?
Face to
Yeah,
face.
you could say that.
One was wearing a fake face, so that was fun.
Ah,
But yeah, that's when he started with the monologue and the one who had been changed to look like a local Brujah was sort of like, even he was a little bit aghast at the monologuing. And then I think he killed him for being aghast, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They've
not...
clearly got some internal strife going on there. I hope we can leverage it somehow.
Me too.
Good to know, good to know.
Oh, just to warn you, they might leave messages for you laying around, because they apparently always know when someone's coming for them. So that's gonna get a little creepy.
Well, at least well, thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep that in mind. And if you need any more information about the area, more specifically the areas outside of the city, just give me a heads up.
Alright, well, we'll be traveling through them, I suspect, to get to Vienna, and then, I don't know what's gonna happen in Vienna, but we may need to make a very fast exit. If we can exit. If we're still walking and talking, because we don't breathe no more anyway.
Well, that's part of the reason why we were offering the Hessians provide some equipment for you all to bring in, should you wish to properly arm yourselves.
I can. I'm not great at it, but I can. I know which way to hold a weapon.
And it's always good to be prepared.
So yes, I will definitely take you up on the offer of equipment.
The quartermaster can see you all prepared, and I know you do prefer the woods, Andrew, but seeing as how after meeting with me tomorrow evening, they will probably wish to head out as soon as possible, I have arranged for you to have a room here so that you could all head out tomorrow.
Thank you so much. You notice that Andrew gives a nice number. Well, I think it's time to get ourselves ready, as ready as we can. So Vern, Miss Visa, and and Visa notices that Andrew's giving her a bit of a little bit of a smirk, as if like a little bit of a flirtatious attitude and such. Like, it's a little subtle, but he's just trying to be a bit friendly.
Yeah.
And such, given the hell that is about to happen.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah.
We're all about to go on a suicide mission. So yeah, let's be nice.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll go great.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. This is fine.
This is fine. All the flames are green. This is fine.
So you are all escorted out of the office and brought to the Hessian's quartermaster, who has laid out some choice bits for you, including some reinforced clothing, which doesn't really suit any of your styles, but extra couple of points of soak doesn't hurt mechanically. You are free to refuse if you are just terribly opposed to wearing any sort of reinforced armor because you feel it conspires against you, but
Look, no. And Risa kind of puts on the flak jacket or vest or whatever it is, and then puts a big coat over it. She's like, "You okay? Is that okay?" Because Charisse had some like, "That's not lady. I can't wear
Vern
that."
doesn't bother to button his shirts properly, so he literally gives zero shits what he's wearing most of the time.
There is also an assortment of melee weapons and firearms that are spread out here, some of which are much easier to conceal than others. Vern, you will probably be sticking to the shadows and going invisible, so I don't know how much you care about that, but there is a claymore up for grabs.
Okay.
Which, just for your own understanding, gives you +4 damage dice.
Okay.
If you hit.
Yeah.
Fidier, what kind of vampire are you? A werewolf. Actually, Fidier,
I'm a feral sewer-dwelling vampire who cares more about dealing damage, both physically and emotionally, than what I look like.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected. The +4 is not +4 extra dice. That's just a static +4 to your margin.
That's pretty good.
So it's +4 successes, or?
No. It basically, if you roll and then you succeed on the roll, you then add the +4 to the margin, which dictates the damage you would inflict.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't make it any easier to hit, but when you hit 4 points harder.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no place to write weapons on this sheet. Okay, I'll go on the back.
Yep.
I imagine it would go under. Yeah, there is no.
There's
I guess
no
we're just
weapon stat. What did you do? Whoever published.
No,
I don't
guess it would
remember.
go under notes for equipment.
I guess.
I hadn't even noticed that on this sheet. That's another letdown, Methuselah.
Heresy!
It's another little bit of a letdown there. And while Renegade is publishing these books, Methuselah are the ones writing it. So, as much as I want to blame Renegade,
Anyway,
actually, I think these are the same sheets from when White Wolf was still doing it, so it's still White Wolf. But yes.
I'm comfortable blaming White Wolf.
So yes,
it's so second nature at this point.
There are firearms. There are melee weapons in the event anyone else wishes to take anything.
Under this big coat, don't know that a sword would fit, but knives would. Knives would.
They
be
have
good.
knives. Knives would function as a +2. So if you were to roll to successfully attack, whatever the margin was for success, you would then add +2 for damage.
Okay. I will take 2 knives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are two decent quality looking knives there they can easily part with for you. Does Vern take the claymore or? Okay, Vern.
Yes.
You offer me large sword. I am here for it.
I didn't expect someone to bring a big honking sword to Elysium. My sword does not honk. Things that happened on the Primogen board in an old vampire game. My sword does not honk.
So yes, Andrew, any particular weapons that you would be looking for? Melee, firearm, something pointy, something bludgeony.
Pretty much. Well, I'll pretty much have a Bowie knife with me. Helps me with my hunting and such. On more the lines of up close and personal kind of things. Probably take like some probably takes like a set of brass knuckles if need be as well.
Okay. Brass knuckles apply a +1.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I've got like a brass knuckles, some Bowie knife. Would probably take a flak jacket along, even though I am a nice, good, tough guy. But it's always good to have a little bit extra armor.
Especially when your enemies can burst into sunlight.
I will say this. Yeah, I assume your Bowie knife is visible. Like, you don't have the Bowie knife obscured. It's probably like just out on your belt.
Yeah.
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 Seeing that and seeing you go for the brass knuckles, one of the Hessian goes, "If I may make a suggestion," and he reaches into his sack and he pulls out a pair of trench spikes.
Oh.
I do not know what these are.
For those who do not know what trench spikes are, during the period in time when fighting from the trenches was much more common, this was a type of weapon where it is effectively a brass knuckle and then a small spike that was designed for coming over the trenches and then puncturing through the helmet of the soldier on the other end of on the other end. So it's not a knife. It's basically a metal stake on a brass knuckle.
Okay. This is definitely kind of handy.
And because the knuckles form, they're more of a ridged guard, really, rather than just the ridges of this, and it covers more of the fist. Both the bludgeoning and the piercing version of this would do +2.
Okay.
Rather than the +1 of the regular brass knuckles.
Okay, good to know.
Take good care of those. Those have served me through multiple wars.
Oh, I'm also looking at small guns.
Okay.
I don't know if guns are small yet.
There are like tiny single or 2-shot derringers that exist at this point in history. They're not gonna offer you much. I mean, they'll do +2.
What's a bit? Do they have just like 6-shooters?
Yeah, 6-shooters are definitely a thing at this point in history.
Automatic weapons aren't tiny yet, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so she'll take a couple of 6-shooters and a bunch of ammo and just stuff it all under her coat.
Okay. Those would be those would be +3 at this for damage effect.
Okay.
And they don't technically have flak jackets available yet as things.
Oh, okay.
But they have something basically the equivalent of ballistic cloth, which gives you an armor value of 2. So what that would do is it would reduce any aggravated damage you take from piercing weapons and reduce them to superficial. So if someone were to shoot you with a bullet and inflicted 3 ag damage because they were aiming for your heart or what have you, it would be 1 ag too superficial, then you would have the superficial as normal because you're kindred.
Okay, and it's +2 armor or 2 levels of armor?
2 levels of armor. And then once the armor has done its thing, if you have something like fortitude, that kicks in.
Mm. I do not have fortitude. Sure.
Yeah, it's
trench coats in space.
That as well, because compared to these two, it looks like I'm going to be doing the tank.
I mean, you can think that. As a Nosferatu grins chaotically.
Yeah.
To be fair, this level of armor is assumed that you will be spending at least some time walking in the street, and you want to afford some measure of stealth and shadow. I mean, we can get you heavier armor, but it will clank and chink.
No thanks.
And chafe. This is fine.
Oh, no, that's what the padding's for.
Oh, good to know.
For the record, it would be a 1 die penalty to your dexterity checks if you were to go with basically the full armor. Which, again, you can buy against thanks to channel points.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Remember, chat? Well, it's almost end of game tonight, but we don't use cash. We use channel points. Buy us bonuses and nerfs with channel points.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there as an option.
Mm-hmm.
I want to saunter in like a couple of shiny knights with claymores and daggers.
Woohoo! We go medieval on their asses.
Yeah.
And then you pull out the 6-shooter.
Yeah.
So,
Bang, bang.
I think we're actually. So, I think, well, I think things are, I think this is as good as we're gonna get. Now all that's left is, final preparation. You know, talking to people, getting our affairs in order.
Yeah, and I should probably ask you, Bear. Well, unless any of these fine gentlemen can explain. So when we got to Paris, we went to London and had to announce ourselves, otherwise, to be polite. Paris, even before it was on fire, didn't have any of that expectation. Which kind of city is Vienna, assuming it's not also currently on fire?
Assuming things are the way they should be, you would be expected to at least introduce yourself to the sheriff.
All right, makes sense.
Considering that we don't know what may have kicked off there at this point, you're probably best not making yourselves too well known.
All right. So I take it the Disablers don't have a lovely hotel there as well.
Well, they do.
Oh.
There is definitely a branch there.
I detect some reticence in your tone.
Marlena is a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Ooh, I like her.
She is also she's a little less open-minded than Hubert. She'll have more issue with your 2 associates there than she will with you.
So she's racist.
Okay. I mean, she'll tolerate the gangrel, but a lot of Nosferatu don't make use of her establishments, and she doesn't see the same use for them that Hubert does in treating them like people, because they're people.
Basically, she's got the usual Tory to stick up her ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hubert seems to have had that removed. Or maybe he didn't have one in the first place, and he's just a delightful aberration. A delightful, unique... I'm sorry, I can't... He's nice, we like him.
He takes after his sire. Marlena less so.
Okay.
There's a reason Marlena's not one of the favorite children.
Ooh. Okay.
She's got a reasonable head for business when she's dealing with the high clans.
But
and what she defines as high clans.
Mm-mm.
If a war were to break out, she'd be one of the few kindred who could keep her head above it by managing to stay simultaneously on the good side and off the bad side of everyone involved.
Knows when to keep her head down.
She knows when to keep her head down, when to put her head up, and when not to stick out her neck, which is ever.
I mean, she's not wrong.
So, I mean, Hubert will probably be able to get you all accommodations there. She won't be happy about the Nosferatu staying in one of her establishments, but...
So we just won't assume we'll have the same relationship with her that we had with Hubert or Monsieur Garrison. We won't won't go looking to make friends.
Probably not.
Okay.
Good to know.
And with that, information had, equipment borrowed, with the assumption that most of it would be returned, especially those trench spikes. Those trench spikes are an important part of his warmongering.
Those have emotional resonance.
Oh no.
Do you have any idea how many kindred I've killed with this thing? It's not even kind.
I make note to get those back.
You're an honorable man, damn it.
And you are all escorted off to your rooms for one last night before Vern and Charisse take their last promotional defenses. Unless anyone here thinks of any other things they want to do before heading out to Vienna, this week would be the time to put it into the chat to let me know.
If I think of anything, I'll let you know, but that was it. That's what I had.
Our defensive snack from Daddy. I so rarely get to make these kinds of jokes on stream. I'm gonna keep going.
The way you broke it up there in 2 lines in chat is what really makes it, gonna be honest.
I should put chat bars on our screen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, chat. I hope you had fun. I hope our players had fun, because I had fun.
Had fun
yes.
getting more and more information about how fucked we are.
This has been Magic Fish Radio, playing V5 in the 1920s, when the whole world's about to jump into World War II a couple decades early. Maybe. This all could be put aside. This could be stopped. There's about to be a lot of very motivated kindred. And this will be one of the few times that the Camarilla and the Anarch will actually mobilize as one when they don't have to punch the Sabbat. Hell, the Sabbat might be motivated once a few whispers are launched their way. There's enough Sabbat spies in enough courts that it might be a thing. But that's something we'll settle up in the next couple weeks. But for right now...
Or the Sabbat decide, you know what looks tasty? That neon green energy drink kindred looks tasty. And then we have a whole new problem. But
well,
a much
then I have to
easier
go
one.
eat them.
Yeah. But a much easier one to solve because, you know, the Sabbat aren't never subtle. So.
Yeah. But that's next. That's a in the future problem.
That's the sequel Kron's problem.
Yeah.
That's future Charisse's problem.
Yeah.
Or whatever character you play in that chronicle.
Yeah.
Charisse might be too powerful by the end of this to warrant running around in a chronicle.
Well, she can't diablerize people. She's a consensual. Both of them are consensualists, so.
Oh, you assume no one's going to offer.
Fucking Shamisi. Anyway. I'll tell you that story after stream.
There is guest appearance before the things at ES.
Yeah, cat.
Cat. Is that?
This is my oldest. I will drop the filter so that you may all. This is Ty.
Oh, this is Ty.
Bask in her ginger greatness.
Orange
very
kitty!
orange.
So orange, so cranky.
Yes, she is. She
So
is my
sharp, so sharp and cranky.
she is my cranky 20-year-old. She is very old and she needs to take her medicine.
Papa! Papa, how dare! Papa, I'm being assaulted! Papa!
I'm sorry, dear.
It's all right.
Papa!
So yes, she hates being on stream even more than Jetson does.
How dare you! Papa!
She is.
Poor kitty.
Thank you, dear. There was medical spitback.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes,
Aw.
Anyway.
thank you all for watching. I apologize for that. Whether you're watching us live or watching us in the future, thank you for your eyeballs. Thank you for your time. We will now do the closeouts. I'm the storyteller, John. This is Ty, my old bitty kitty. And I'm here Tuesdays trying to provide you all with entertainment and hopefully not pissing off people too much. Dracus, if you would,
All right.
wave to the audience.
Hi, I'm Dracus. I've been playing Vern this evening. You can find me here on Saturdays playing Klaus in our space game, which is also very fun. I don't play. I was about to like make a comparison of Vern and Klaus, then I realized that neither of my characters are like particularly kind people, and it's really funny. So yeah, we have fun in that one. We have fun in this one. Hope you can watch them both.
Well, you can definitely watch them both on VOD.
Yeah. Otherwise, I pretty much exist on Instagram and Discord, so find me there.
Okay.
Next up would be Justin.
Yeah, pretty much I pretty much hang out. It can be found on Discord and such. Normally I could usually be found online playing on my PlayStation and such. There have been times that I have streamed on Twitch under my handle Malkmaven1176. It's not usually, it's like once in a blue moon kind of stuff. I also am I am also one of the admins of a clan on Destiny, on the Destiny 2 servers, Legio Mortis. It's nice chill group. We hang out, have fun, help each other out via Destiny and such. I've also from time to time helped out with playtesting. I have helped out with the playtesting of a couple of RPGs. I helped playtest the Dresden Files role-playing game a couple of years back. I've also helped playtest a couple of indie games as well, more specifically Rememorex, which is a nice little 80s styled game and such. Very fun. You can look it up on Drive Through RPG. But I do have a Twitter at Malkmaven11, but I don't usually use it as much. It's like I occasionally post, usually replying to some of my friends with very funny gifts of like if they like do stuff like forget to eat, do something dumb, that kind of nice stuff. But I want to thank I actually want to thank Magic Fish Radio for letting me come here and actually do this because this is the first time that I've actually done something like this.
You've been on this side of the screen.
Yes. I've been watching, but this side, but actually on this side of the camera, this was my first time.
Well, you filled out the
And,
form.
yeah, yeah, well,
Yay.
yeah. And, unfortunately, unfortunately, my nose
Yeah,
decided today to be a little bit on the stuffed up side, but
it's allergy
yeah,
season. 3 of us are in New
yeah,
York City right now, and it's allergy season. And they
yeah,
decided, let's put all the male trees in because then there won't be fruit on the sidewalks. 100
yeah,
years later, we all hate whoever made that decision.
yeah.
Imagine having allergies. Sorry.
Well,
You
well,
young
well,
whippersnapper!
whoever
To be
made
fair
that,
though, I also do live in rural Ohio right now, so like if I had allergies, they would be bad.
It's late
yeah,
April. The United States is currently made of pollen.
yeah, whoever made the idea of like, let's get all the male trees put in there,
Yeah.
obviously didn't have allergies.
Mm-hmm. They probably didn't exist in the 1800s, as far as
Yeah,
anyone knew. Who knows?
yeah,
That's kind of getting onto a tangent though.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, but
so yes, I'm Ms. Chrysela. I'm the channel producer, and I'm also the GM for Exit to Eden, which will be running on Saturday again, 2 weeks in a row, because we had a hiatus and I want to run my damn game. All the characters have just made it onto the refugee colony on a shitty yellow version of Mars called Dysnomia. And I have 800 purchased NPCs to throw at them in 2.5 hours next week, so that'll be fun.
oh
Um,
boy,
and then after that, and within the next 2 weeks, we'll have a couple new players joining that cast as well. We have another new player joining this cast, but she can't make it for a couple weeks because she's moving. And yeah, we still have that form open because after Eldritch Adversaries wraps up, we'll be running Aliens for 4 sessions, and then we'll be running G.I. Joe for 4 sessions. So we are still looking for players for those games if anyone's interested. So fill out the form that our mods linked in the chat, and also join our Discord if you want to chat with us more before signing up. I am also in a thing that I keep forgetting to have in front of me, so I just read it. I will be on a stream with Greater Restoration on Sunday, May 1st, playing Lancer for charity. And it's for a children's hospital-based charity, and I'm very, very happy to be at a charity stream, because I try to run them here and they fail miserably. Well, not fail, but just, like, I end up having to just make my own donation, which is largely why we still use channel points, because I know, our community, we're a bit strapped for cash because there's an apocalypse going on. But whether or not you can donate, check my Twitter for information and then signal boost it, because we want lots and lots of people to come watch us. And it's the whole weekend of games. Like, I'm at the tail end. There's going to be Friday through Sunday. There's going to be lots of fun games and one-shots going on. Also, for this channel, if you're a GM who wants to run a one-shot of an indie RPG, also fill out that form, because we're looking for GMs to run one-shots on Saturdays. And now my tangent is over. And we are going to raid Perception Studios. They're playing actually playing D&D, and not just about to go on break or raid someone else. I checked. But also they're on the West Coast, so they run later than us. But they're in the second season of Salin's Legacy, which is a homebrew world. But one of last season's players is now this season's GM, which is fun. And the raid has been created, but where is the raid? Hold on. What is happening?
Chat's being weird, apparently.
Okay, well, until we see you next time, Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and Diablerize responsibly. Bye!